Today, I'm going to show you how to take a plain looking t-shirt like this and turn it into stringer type workout shirts coming up. What's going on? It's your dude, That Guy Health, and today we are going to be going through a process on how to turn the regular t-shirt into a shirt similar to what I have on now. This shirt here is one of my first times ever cutting a shirt to try to make it into what might be commonly known as a douchebag shirt, a stringer tee, a tank top. Overall, a better shirt that definitely aesthetically looks better in the gym, definitely looks better to you, especially exposing your delts, which are a glamour muscle, and just giving you that overall nice feel, okay? So a lot of times, you don't have to go out and spend the money on tank or stringer tops because you might already have t-shirts in your arsenal that you don't typically wear, either because of the design or maybe because how they fit as a t-shirt. They could definitely probably suit you better looking more in a stringer style or a tank. So when doing this, you need a couple of things, all right? Actually, a few things. You're gonna need a good sharp pair of scissors, okay? If you try to use a pair of scissors that are dull or don't cut very sharply, you're going to find yourself in a situation where the cuts are going to be very jagged. It's going to be hard to cut it. And on top of being hard to cut it, it's not going to come out in a nice angle because you're not going to have the bite you need. So you need a good sharp pair of scissors, something like this, or some titanium blade scissors. Another thing you're going to need is either a wax pen or something that will lightly mark the material that either will come out or will be totally not noticeable after you finish making cuts, or you'll have to make the cut just outside of that mark so you can get rid of it. Another thing is this: weights, something to put down on the shirt as you start to cut. If you don't have something to put down on the shirt as you start to cut, it starts moving, the back starts moving, and then your cuts start looking even worse. Now, given some of the steps that we're going to go through afterwards, it may not be as noticeable, but if you can eliminate it and do as good a job on the front end, the back end product will look even better, okay? So I got two weights here because you'll need one to stabilize a shirt, both top and the bottom area where you cut. Now, another thing that helps is a stencil of some sort. Let's say you already have a tank shirt or a stringer top shirt that you kind of like or do like the fit of and you like the style. Take that shirt and let's use it as a stencil for this new shirt. So here, I've decided to do something a little different today. This shirt is 100% cotton, which definitely made it a lot easier to cut. One, because the cotton was easier to cut itself because of the thread count. Something like this where it's like 50%, I think this is, let me see, I think this is a 52% cotton, 48% polyester. So what happens here is the shirt is not as rigid, so we might run into issues where cutting might be a little bit more difficult, because you have to understand, the thinner and more malleable the material is, when you go to cut, it almost wants to fold into the scissors because it's that thin, all right? It's not as rigid. So that's where having a very sharp pair of scissors really comes in handy, and having these weights to try to tighten up that shirt as you run through it comes in handy, all right? So I'm gonna take this shirt and lay it out, all right? And on this shirt we have Spider-Man, okay? Best thing to do, lay it out. Make sure you spread the shirt out well. Make sure the seams are the same on each side. You don't want one seam in front of the shirt, the other seam in the back. So sometimes it's good to take it on the edge like that and run it over and fix it as you come back over the table, and just start spreading it out like that, okay? Now, it doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but remember what I said, the better you can get it, everything symmetrically, the better your end product to come out, okay? So we're not looking for perfection, but we definitely want as close as we can get, okay? So now that that's happened, now I'm gonna take my sleeves, make sure my sleeves are nice and pulled out, make sure the neck seam here is aligned up top like the other one. And if not, then what I will do is take the shirt, shake it again, and I will come from the bottom side now, come up. And there we go, Marvel is in the middle. Sleeves again. The sleeves outside the seam is not as important as you filling to make sure that both the back side and the front side seams are very close, kind of pretty much almost on top of each other. All right, so pretty much that's pretty good right there. We're a little off, but not too off, okay? So now that I've got that done, what I want to do is start taking measurements on where I'm gonna stop my cut underneath the sleeve and up here. So up here, you typically want about 2 inches from the neck going out to the shoulder, okay? You want that 2 inches because you have to, I know you're like 2 inches, I don't want a 2-inch band, but listen, as you start, which is gonna be probably like the 4th step in this process, as we move to that step, what's gonna happen is the shirt is gonna start bending and curling over on itself. So the thinner you make that initial cut, the thinner that's gonna be, and it could turn out not to be so well depending on what you do with your neck. So now let's take the stringer tee or the tank top and let's lay it over this t-shirt. All right, so I'm gonna make sure I do the same here. Take my side seam, shake the shirt out. And what I wanna do is lay the arm piece where it basically starts coming outward, where that bottom cut is. And I wanna lay that down close to that. Take this neck piece or shoulder piece and match it up top to the other shoulder piece of the shirt we're gonna cut. Spread it out some, match it up as close as possible. All right, now the neck's gonna be a little different. The neck cut here is a little deeper. That's something that you could decide to do later if you wanna try to make that. I like to typically on these shirts keep the neck intact, like this one pretty much. Now spread it out again, and we're pretty close, you know, eyeballing it, looking at it. Okay, now we're good. So now what I wanna do is take my wax pen and I'll set these markings on the shirt. All right, top and bottom. And I'll go ahead and kind of pretty much try to trace me out a dotted line, peripheral cut, give me a guideline of where I'm going to be cutting. And then when I wash the shirt, which is one of the steps, this should probably come out. All right, right there, pretty much that armpit. All right, set that. And just use good method of cutting this, kind of keeping it rounding up, all right, as you go. Now, a lot of times what you'll see people do is they'll just cut the sleeves off. Nothing really looks cool just with the sleeves off, all right? That's a common mistake. You're pretty much making like a basketball jersey then. That's really not what you're going for. You have to come into that chest area to get that look that we're looking for in the gym. So now that I have these areas pretty much marked on where I want to start coming with my cut, I'll go ahead and pick this up. Now remember what I said, I'm not cutting the neck area on this one, but if you wanted to, I would suggest you just cut away the neck seam. That probably will give you the look you want. If you want to come a little deeper, you really need to be careful of your cuts at that point. So now that I have my marking, I can peel my template away, put that off to the side, and now you see here, I'll have the white markings on how I want to cut this shirt, all right? So now it's time to cut. So I'll shake it out again, rub it against the edge of the table, spreading it out. The markings aren't gonna change. Now this is where I'm gonna come in and start using my weight. It's gonna bring the shirt a little closer to me so I can work with it that way. I'm gonna have to stand up on you all. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do one side at a time. So what you wanna do is put a weight up top, right here. This weight could pretty much stay in the middle right there. And you might have to move it as you start cutting for your hand. And this other weight will come right here. And you'll use your hand here and spread this out. Or you could do vice versa. You could take the weight and put it on the sleeve and spread the sleeve out and come in here and start cutting. It's totally up to you how you want to do it, all right? I'll start this way, and I'm gonna come into this seam just under the sleeve seam, all right? And I'm gonna start cutting. And this is, like I said, you're gonna have to play around with it, spread it out. You need to spread the shirt. Try to stay nice and smooth with it. Follow the guidelines as much as possible. And then nice cut right through there, okay? There you go. All right, I'm just outside, I'm just inside the marking. So what I'll do is when I get to this side, I'll try to keep that same practice, being just inside the marking, totally getting rid of the wax marking. So even if they didn't come out, it wouldn't matter because it's not in the shirt. Now I'm gonna do the same with this side. And it's a little different cutting with my left hand. So typically what I like to do is stay right hand and come down. So with this one, I'm just gonna kind of scoot out here and take my weight. You don't have to change this one again. Take my weight, spread it out, keeping that tension on the shirt. I'm gonna use my right hand again. And what I'll do is come just under this sleeve seam again, this sleeve. And I want to put that pressure on the shirt again, spreading the shirt out, and then start the cut. And this side is a little difficult because I'm right hand dominant. Boom. Cut right up top through there, all right? So now you have, boom, you have this off, all right? So already we're looking good, okay? Remember, it's not gonna be perfect size, but if we compare these sleeves, I mean, they look pretty similar, just right there. If you take a look at them, I'll put them right here. And let's lay them on top of each other and see how, at least how close or how far off we are. And we're not far off at all. If you can see right here, we're not far off at all from these two together, okay? So that's a good indication that we're already on the right track. At this point, we compare the top ends and here you go, all right? So there it is right here. Now, what's gonna happen is, let's get these weights out of the way. It's that simple on the cuts, okay? If you do all the measurements first, then cut, you save yourself a lot of time and heartache. Now that we have the shirt pretty much done like this, now it's time to go ahead, put the shirt in the washer, wash it with some other clothes. This is what's gonna give these edges the round character right here, so they're not just as flat and as rigid. So as you wash it, these ends will curl in, giving it more of the look we're looking for. But right now, we could just go ahead and put this shirt on, see how it looks, all right? So I'm gonna put this shirt on so we can see how it looks without the washing and decide if we want to go a little deeper on the cuts. That'll give you the side where you have a little more rib cage showing, or if you want to keep it up top. So let's see how this shirt looks as we put it on, okay? So I'm going to go ahead, change into this shirt, finish the video out in it so you can see what it looks like, and then I'll wash it myself and then go from there, and you'll see what your end product looks like as well. So I'm going to change into the shirt real quick. And boom, there we are, okay? Another good, nice workout shirt, stringer tank type, okay? Now remember what I said, this process is not done. Go ahead, take your shirt, put it in the washing machine under the same instructions that the shirt initially said on how to wash it. Put it with some other clothes. As you wash it throughout times, it's gonna get a little bit more character, a little bit more stringer-like. Right now we're flat, it's used to being flat, but as I wash this shirt, it'll start curling and getting more of that stringer type look to it, okay? So I'm not gonna go through the whole process of washing the shirt, doing all that. Go ahead, do it yourself. I showed you the main process on how to cut the shirt, which is the most important thing. And then washing it and drying it is what's going to give it that extra little step, that extra stringer-like look as these edges curl inward, which is usually typically what they do. So listen, there it is, another good workout shirt from a t-shirt that you have that maybe you're not wearing or you definitely wouldn't wear as a workout t-shirt before you do this process. Showed you how to take your regular clothes, some of your swag, turn it into a little bit better swag and get that workout in the gym. So you know what I always say about this time, peace, be safe, and let's build together. I'm out.